Yeah, guys, let's get into the pop culture. All right, so the Robbie Williams biopic movie has come out called Betterman. And according to Variety News, the Robbie Williams biopic Betterman isn't exactly going bananas with a puny $580,000 opening day. Paramount acquired the feature for North American distribution for $25 million. Look, this shit bombed so hard they're about to drop it over the Gaza Strip. That's how bad this movie did. $580,000. There are LA Fire Police Department figureheads that literally make as much money as this movie made. That is pathetic. That is very sad. So where did this movie fail? So I saw the movie. I saw the movie so you don't have to. And let's talk about what might have been good. I think the acting was okay. I think it was pretty decent. The script or the writing was it was okay. It made sense. It flowed relatively well. I'll give it that. Cinematically speaking, mechanically speaking, I think the cinematography was okay. I think they did a relatively decent job putting this movie together. The soundtrack, I think it was pretty good. So like again, on the mechanical level, it was okay. But where does this movie fail, in my opinion? And you're looking at it right here. Robbie Williams, who is a real human being. I didn't know who this person was at all. I remember I was in the movie theater last year sometime. I don't remember when. And the trailer to this movie came out. And they're like, this is the Robbie Williams movie, Betterman. And I was with this girl. I was on a date. And like at the same time, we're like, who the fuck is Robbie Williams? Like, it's hilarious. It was like the funniest part of the night. And he's a pop star in the UK. Very, very famous. He's still relevant. He does like TV show. He does like The Voice or the UK whatever bullshit show, and he also might be getting together with his old band, which is featured in the movie. But where the movie ultimately fails is with this monkey here. So in the industry, we call this a gimmick. So instead of having a young actor play Robbie Williams, they had a literal fucking chimp play Robbie Williams. It's literally this monkey the entire movie, and we're just supposed to take for granted that this is what Robbie Williams looked like, and nobody ever commented on the fact that Robbie Williams is a literal fucking monkey throughout all his interactions in the movie. It was really distracting. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's really, really distracting. That there were some heartfelt moments in the film. There really were. When the dad steps out. When the dad mistreats his family because the dad is a fucking loser who, has his sights set on the stars. And he abandons his family. And then, the little monkey Robbie Williams is just looking at the bus leave, and it's really sad. There was also another moment. And by the way, this apparently that did happen. And there was another incident that did happen in the movie where one of the first love interests, or one of the first few love interests, she gets pregnant with Robbie Williams' kid, and she ends up aborting the child. And it was really sad, and it obviously impacted Robbie Williams quite a bit. And then he calls her out because she's like, "Oh, praise God, praise Jesus. I'm a traditional woman, blah blah blah. My trad life." And he calls her out on her hypocrisy, and I thought that was a very powerful moment. However, it's hard to feel any sort of connection with the character or what they're going through when they're a literal fucking monkey. And like I can't relate to this monkey. And people want to like say like, "Oh, well, the CGI was great." Yeah, CGI, dude, doesn't matter how good or bad it is. Like it's really difficult to emote what it feels like for the love of your life killing your child. It's very difficult to emote your father abandoning you as you sit there helplessly watching your father drive away in a bus with a bunch of retards. When you're a monkey, like all the facial expressions, like I can tell you a story about how like my dad stepped out. I can tell you about the story of like when my girlfriend abandoned me when I was dying from the whooping cough. I was literally moments away from death. And like if I was, if it was like a little bit, if I didn't have so much distance between myself and those events, I'd probably be very emotional. And you can see the emotion on my face. You don't see these emotions on this monkey's face at all. So there's a lot lost in translation. And that's ultimately why this movie, in my opinion, just didn't work. The trailer was a lot more interesting because people are like, whoa, what the hell is going on here? Who the fuck is Robbie Williams? Why is this thing a monkey? Why is this guy a monkey? This is a true story, but he's a monkey? I don't understand. So the movie ended up the movie ended up getting just millions of views across all these platforms, but nobody ended up seeing it, and no one is saying anything really positive about it in the real world because you can't connect with this character. This is a gimmick, and it was a gamble, and it failed. It was a very costly gimmick, and it cost them a lot of money. This movie was a loser, and story wise, look, I liked the story. It was relatively on point with reality, which is good, but I feel like the connection between the characters, for the most part, was relatively hollow. There was a lot of stuff, again, missing in translation, perhaps because of the monkey or because it was so distracting. Maybe that was a me problem, but I just felt like the movie just went along a little too quickly for a lot of the stuff to connect and to really hit home. Like, there wasn't really an antagonist of the film. Except maybe Robbie Williams is the protagonist and the antagonist. He's his worst enemy, which is kind of apparent throughout the film because he does have a drug habit, he has a drinking habit, and he's a bad boy. And in his wake there are these failed friendships, there's these failed relationships. There's a dead child that was aborted. But it just becomes a little bit difficult to follow through with any of it because this is literally a monkey playing Robbie Williams, who apparently is a giant superstar in the UK and elsewhere throughout Europe. Again, most of us here in America never heard of this guy. But it is true, so I'm not here to downplay it. So I went into this with an open mind, and I'm just keeping it raw with you guys. If I was, like on the production team, or I was one of the guys who, if I was a shot caller in the industry and we were going to do this movie, and I felt like it was worth doing, and someone's like, "Oh yeah, let's replace Robbie Williams with a monkey," I'd be like, "Absolutely not," and I would be telling them what I just told you guys. Like, this is just going to be distracting, and this isn't going to work. And one of the greatest comparisons that I can think of right now would be the Elvis Presley movie that was played by Austin Butler. That was a relatively decent movie. Actually, I think it was pretty good, to be honest. And the story was very, very clear. The rise and fall of Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley fighting with his own demons. And while it could have been a situation like the Robbie Williams Betterman movie where Elvis is the antagonist and the protagonist, there was a legitimate protagonist in the Elvis movie. And it was like the handler, producer, music, manager guy that was played by that PDF file. Forget his name. Can't remember the guy's name, but he played the manager, and he's like, "Oy vey, Elvis Presley, you got to do what I tell you, oy vey." And I'm just like, "Whoa, dude, this is like really anti-Semitic, man. What the f-? But yeah, it was that was done well, and that was relatively well received, and I think it made a lot of money. Robbie Williams wasn't able to do that, and also like there was a oh god, who was that other famous UK singer, Tiny Dancer? I can't remember. Can't remember his name, but he there was the dance sequences or musical sequences, and they looked almost exactly the same in the Robbie Williams movie. So I felt like there was a little bit of copycatting going on there. So yeah, I think this is a major missed opportunity. The story wasn't really complete. Again, I feel like some of the elements of the complex relationships are kind of rushed. And also the monkey just didn't work. It just didn't work. This failed. However, is it better than ISOM? Yes. Light years better than ISOM. I give it like 5 ISOM. Full stop. Freddie Mercury film was good. Elton John. Yes, thank you, Ash Blackwood. Yeah, Elton John. That one was kind of decent. It had a really good cast. But there were moments where they were like, "Oh, we're gonna start dancing and singing and stuff." And oh, dude, it looked exactly the same as just Robbie Williams did it the exact same way. So I don't know. Let me see. Let me see. Let me read some of these comments. My bones are pink. I know what bone cancer looks like. It's not pink. Shut up. Don't question me. I have clinical experience. Zombie Bomb is so supportive of bone cancer that she gave herself pink bone cancer. Jesus, you both are insane for the cancer jokes. I know. Why is it a monkey? Is there a reason? Zombie Bomb, I have no idea why they did this. I think there was an article where they went into why he was a monkey, but I don't remember it. And not to see racist. I disagree. If you watch a controversial movie, do a movie review yearly. You'll probably get good views since people prefer word of mouth over corrupt mainstream critics like Rotten Tomato. Yeah, I mean, I'll try to do more movie reviews of like stuff that comes out recently, and I'll just give it to you guys raw. I'll probably throw this up as a clip. Another Planet of the Apes sequel. I think this is a little bit better than the Planet of the Apes, but again, the Planet of the Apes movie literally suffered from the same thing. So the more recent one, I forget the name of it, but it had some human characters, and they carried the film along, right? Because the characters are able to emote, and you can understand and feel what they're going through because you can see their facial expressions. And there were some monkeys that were in the movie, and it's like they were kind of helpful, but for the most part, like they were just so monotone and just so like one note, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work. It wasn't like the older Planet of the Apes movies, because the older Planet of the Apes movies, the apes were not like our apes in this world. They were like evolved. They were like mutated, so they looked more human, but they were still like they looked like apes. Like did you pay to watch this movie? Zombie Bomb, no. Should you be playing the church music? No, I did not. Funny, but no, I didn't pay. It's a terrible movie. I actually thought that the monkey is TFM from the stream thumbnail. No, it isn't. The picture was from the Betterman movie. Confessed at church gayo. Tom Hanks. Yeah, Tom Hanks is the guy. Yeah, dude. So Tom Hanks played the Elvis Presley manager, and he was super Jewish. And it was like imagine like the most like anti-Semitic person impersonating like a Jewish banker. Like that's what Tom Hanks played as. I'm not even kidding. It was like I felt uncomfortable watching. I was like, oh, dude, I'm gonna get canceled watching this fucking movie. Cringo, Rainbow O, shook that he could never make a comic himself. It'd be cringe, right wing, anti-communist bait. No, I don't know if I would make. First off, if I had, let's say someone gave me money, someone dared me. He's like, I'll give you, I don't know, $5 million, and it can only be spent on making a comic book. My comic book would be light years better than anything Eric July has ever done. Full stop. It would be well written. I would actually pay an artist with the money that I got, and I'll probably have to get 2 of them just so I can get done quicker, so people can have it in their hands. And I'd probably spend like nothing on marketing. I would just pay or ask my friends to like shill it for me. I'll call up Dick Masterson and just be like, yo, bro, this is gonna be fucking funny. You want to do the funniest shit ever? And he'd agree to do it. And yeah, it would be way better than anything Eric July did or has done. Because Eric July's comics are fucking dog shit. They're so bad. Again, if I had to choose between reading ISOM or watching Betterman again, I would watch Betterman again. Again, I didn't feel bad or like disgusted watching Betterman. It just didn't think it was like the best movie for the reasons that I stated. The monkey makes me think about limbs being degloved. Yeah, probably. Zombie, why? I don't know. Monkeys suck. So you have a problem when others impersonate your people? Typical. I think Tom Hanks is Jewish. I think Tom Hanks isn't even his real name, but I could be wrong. So yeah. Again, I gave it like 5 ISOMs. I don't really recommend this. And I actually started listening because I was curious. I listened to some of Robbie Williams' music, and again, it's not bad music. It is really well-made music. It just isn't for me. There were a couple songs that were kind of catchy and they were kind of decent. But I honestly, I don't think I've ever heard of any of them. I never heard of any of these songs. I never heard of Robbie Williams until literally like barely at the end of last year, whenever they started releasing the trailer. But yeah, no, if you watch the Elvis Presley movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, dude, like, yeah, like Tom Hanks is like, oh, hey, I see this skinny little white boy, and he's gonna make me a lot of money, oy vey, and I'm just like, what the fuck, bro? Stop hating on Eric just because he broke up with you doesn't give you the right to stay salty. No, there was never a breakup, dude. It was more like he came after me for no fucking reason, and the guy's a fucking snitch. And by the way, if you miss him, get back together. Look, I would be willing to break bread with Eric July if he apologizes for what he did. If he apologizes for what he did, maybe there will be, some silence on my end. But, like, dude, he's just way too cringy, bro. And he just keeps doing he's a fucking lolcow. I remember when Tom Hanks was mostly known for big, pointy, fake boobs. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. Are you thinking about, like, Miss Doubtfire? That was Robin Williams. Or was that him? I don't even remember. All right, well, anyways, we got more pop culture news to get into.